Back to the channel, doing something a little different today. It is Stanley Cup playoff time if you've been living under a rock. Because the schedule is kind of a staggered start, even though the playoffs have already dropped the puck, I still feel like I've got time to squeeze in my predictions. Starting with the North Division, we'll take it division by division. A lot of intrigue here. Really, it's top heavy. Two teams at the top in Toronto and Edmonton, who, as you can see, I have going to the semifinal. Look, with Toronto, as much as they're throwing at this year, it has to be Stanley Cup or bust for them. I'd like to give the Habs a little bit more credit there, but unfortunately, just the way that they played over the past 2 months, I don't really know how to feel about their goaltending. Everything else is a refined unit, and Austin Matthews has played himself into the hard discussion this year. He's going to need a Conn Smythe type performance to get this team over the hump. Edmonton and Winnipeg, yikes, I feel like this series could get ugly. Winnipeg has just fallen off a cliff basically since the calendar flipped to April. This could be a sweep, but I'll give the Jets the benefit of the doubt. There's no way that they can catch up with Connor McDavid, in my opinion. And we'll say Oilers in 5 in the first round. Heck of a series between Toronto and Edmonton. Really hope that we get it. Feel like this would be great for the sport. You get the two dynamic clashes of Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews. Edmonton has a lot more speed. Toronto might have more refined defense. I like Toronto head-to-head. This is probably going 6 or 7 games in my opinion. The very intriguing East Division. I had high hopes for this New York team, thinking that they could at least get back to the conference finals. But again, things have just really tailed off over the past 2 months. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, has gone the precise other direction since getting Jeff Carter at the deadline. 5 or 6 game series. It's disappointing for the Islanders to take a step back after that great overachievement a year ago. Looking like this could actually be a 6 or 7 game series. I had the Capitals in 6, just don't really like the cohesion for Boston. How much of a theme is this? So many teams in the playoffs right now don't have solid goaltending situations. They're playing Craig Anderson. That Craig Anderson, I've still got Washington moving on. All right, round 2 in the East, Pittsburgh and Washington. These two are just made for each other. It feels like they always clash in the second round, especially in the Crosby-Ovechkin era. Again, Pittsburgh is so hot right now. They pushed the perfect buttons at the right time, whether it was Jim Rutherford stepping down and turning to the new core of Brian Burke and Ron Hextall in the front office, or going on a limb and getting Jeff Carter. Moving on to the West, Colorado and St. Louis. This is an interesting series. We did see the Blues get a couple of matchups against the Avs and play really well toward the end of the regular season. This one's already gone 1-0 in Colorado's favor. It's Stanley Cup or bust for the Avs after getting knocked out to the Stars in the second round last year. They have their eyes set on more than just this first round series, but we saw what they did to Arizona last year in the play-in. They are not going to take it easy. On paper, really, the eye test, everything bends the Avs' way. St. Louis should be able to get a game or two just because they've got so much talent on paper. Still like Colorado and Nathan McKinnon to take their business in 5. Vegas and Minnesota, it is a shame that one of these teams has to go home in the first round. Vegas, again, is like Colorado in that it's Stanley Cup or bust for them. And it's a more of a shame that one of these teams has to lose in round number 2. Minnesota just destroyed expectations this season. They were probably the best team in the NHL in April. They had the best power play statistically in that month. Kirill Kaprizov's going to be the Calder Trophy winner, and they've gotten enough out of Talbot and net. Moving on from Devin Dubnyk turned out to be the right decision. I give Minnesota a lot of credit. 7-game series, I've got the Knights moving on, and I hate to say it because this has just been a fun year for Minnesota. Round 2, what a shame that one of these two teams has to go home. Still feel like Vegas has the depth from top to bottom. You look at the defense, a seasoned group that made it to the conference final. Colorado is more reliant on its top line in Rantanen and McKinnon and the like. Also feel like Vegas has a much more stable goaltending situation. It's been amazing to see Marc-Andre Fleury and his bounce back this year, have them moving on to the semifinal. Now for the ever-competitive Central Division, Carolina and Nashville. As a Stars fan, I fully concede that Nashville was the correct team to make it in as the last spot here in the division. It's clear that Carolina is the best team, making their 3rd straight playoff appearance. This group is in great shape. Got them getting past the Predators in 6. Oh my gosh, why does one of these two teams have to lose in the first round? This is what I really don't like about the format, is that one of Vegas and Minnesota has to go and one of Florida and Tampa Bay has to go. If you watch that game number 1 Saturday night, it's one of the best hockey games that I've ever seen personally. You got it all in this series. You got storylines abound, but again, Tampa Bay just too much. They have so many weapons from top to bottom. The perfect blend of youth and veteran experience making the Stanley Cup run. I've got them moving on to round number 2. The reseeded topsy-turvy 2021 semifinals. 1 versus 4, I've got Vegas and Tampa Bay, then Toronto versus Pittsburgh. Obviously, Vegas and Toronto moving on, and then Vegas taking a 6 or 7 game series head-to-head over the Maple Leafs. Obviously, the Stanley Cup playoffs are not chalky by any means, but I do feel like these two teams have separated themselves in their respective divisions enough to bode picking them for the Stanley Cup final. Right now, Marc-Andre Fleury is too good in net to stop. I've got the Golden Knights capturing their first Stanley Cup. Certainly would drive Canadians crazy seeing a expansion team win a cup before a Canadian team does. Again, that lengthy drought continues now, 28 years since the Canadians won the last Stanley Cup north of the border. Let me know what you think of my playoff picks. What did I miss? Tell me your picks. Share your bracket in the comments section below. Let me know if you want to see more hockey content on this channel. But for now, peace. Thanks for watching. You are loved. You are appreciated.